Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2, airbrushing for the beginner, understanding your brush. Because there is so many brushes out there and it's like, oh no, which one do I buy? What do I need as a beginner? So understanding your brush and what to look for. Now there are a range of brushes that you can get, styles, different makes and things like that. So I'm going to run through some of the styles of brushes that you can get as a beginner. Now you can start off with any of these brushes on the table. You've got a bottom feed. So bottom feed airbrushes, how these work are, you've got a jar that basically clips to the bottom. You'll put your paint in your jar here and then you clip this to the front underneath like that. You clip your airline on here and then your triggers at the top. All these on the table are double action airbrushes as well. So a double action airbrush works, you press down on the trigger and that releases the air out the front of the brush. So nice and simple. If you've got 20-30 psi on the line, that's what's coming through your brush as you press down. Now the minute you start to pull back on the trigger, that's when it releases the paint out the front. So that's how a bottom feed airbrush works. The beauty of a bottom feed airbrush is if you want to do quick changes with your paint, if you're going down the t-shirt route, things like that, you can just unclip your jar of paint, have another jar with another colour, clip it to the bottom like that, and you're good to go, and you can change your colours really quick. So that's a bottom feed airbrush and that's how they work. You get the trigger ones which are like this. Now these work sort of exactly the same, but you're not going down for air, back for paint. You're basically like a spray gun. You will pull back on the trigger like that and it releases the air and the paint together. So that's how a trigger type airbrush works. These are really good for more coverage because these are usually bigger needle nozzle setups in these. This one's a 0.5. So if you wanted to get more coverage down, this one's great for that, and you get a fan cap and you get a spot cap on that. So that's like a pistol type brush that you can pick up. Then you've got your top cup airbrushes like this. Now these work exactly the same, double action, so it's down for air, back for paint. You'll put your paint in the top here, you clip your airline to the bottom here, and on the front of the brush you can see this little bit here. This is what they call like a Mac valve. Now these work to adjust your air pressure. It's like a little regulator that you'd have on your compressor where you can adjust your air. You can adjust this on the fly on the front of the brush. So these work really good. If you've seen these on sites and think, oh, do I need one of these? They are good brushes, guys, because you can adjust your air here. You've not got to fiddle around under the table or wherever your compressor is trying to adjust your air. You can set your air on your compressor and then when you're painting you can adjust it here. So these are an option to look out for, is a double action top cut with a Mac valve to the bottom. The next one is a side feed. Now side feeds, they work exactly the same, double action again, so down for air, back for paint, but you've got a cup which fits to the side like that. On side feed brushes, most of them you've got a pin to the opposite side. You take the pin out and then you can move the cup to the opposite side. So the beauty of this is if you're left or right handed, you can put the cup to either side just to give you a little bit more view when you're painting. Side feeds work really nice. I do like side feed brushes. Another bonus with a side feed, if you're painting at a funny angle, you can adjust your cup to the position. So you're not going to spill any paint and you can work at any angle you like. You can adjust your cup. So side feeds are an option. Nice brushes. So that's a side feed. You can then get ones which look like this, where there's no cup and you think, well, where am I going to put the paint in that? You've got a little scallop to the top. Now these brushes are really nice because you get full view. So when you're painting, you've got no cup to the top. You haven't got a bottom cup here which clips in, and you haven't got a side cup. You've got full view. So they're really nice for having that full view of your artwork when you're painting, but you only get a few drops of paint. You probably get like 4 or 5 drops of paint in the top and you spray in for say 10 minutes and then you're having to top back up again. So that is another option of brush, double action again, down for air, back for paint. air clips to the bottom, works exactly the same. We've got another one with a scallop on the top like that, so that's another style. You get single action airbrushes as well. So a single action airbrush, I've not got one for paint, but I've got an erasing one. Now these are for glass etching, so you'd put like an aluminium oxide in the top, you put your aluminium oxide in there, and then this is a single action. So single action airbrushes, if you've seen one of them, Pash do single action airbrushes which look like this, where you just press down and it releases the air and the paint, or releases the air and the cutting compound that you put in this one. So that's understanding your brush, guys, knowing what they're about, how they work. They all sort of work the same. They've all got different uses. Your side feeds, your top cups, your bottom feed airbrushes, and your trigger ones. So that's a little look into that. I hope this has helped you out in some way. Join me in part 3 when we move on to the next video for the beginner. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification, and I'll see you in the next one.